Have you ever wondered why, after all the books you've read, the meditations you've done, and the breakthroughs you've felt, you still feel like something's missing? That quiet restlessness that never fades, no matter how awake you try to be. You've touched moments of peace, moments of clarity, and for a second it all felt complete. But then, like mist, it slipped away. And deep down you start to wonder, was that really awakening? Or just another illusion dressed as truth? You're not alone in that feeling. The world tells you awakening is a single moment, a lightning bolt that shatters everything and leaves you free. But that's not what really happens. What most people call awakening is only the beginning of something far deeper, something few ever dare to face, because true awakening doesn't come wrapped in light. It begins in darkness, in that haunting silence between who you were and who you're becoming. You can feel it, can't you? That strange pull inside you. The part of you that's tired of pretending to be spiritual, tired of trying to stay positive, tired of chasing peace like it's another goal to achieve. You're done with that game. Want what's real. Want the truth, even if it burns everything false within you. And it will. Because the path to true awakening is not about finding more. It's about losing everything that was never yours to begin with. That's why so many stop halfway. Because the moment you start to see through your own illusions, it hurts. You see how much of your life was built on fear, on identity, on control. You start to realize that what you called you is just a mask, a collection of memories, roles, and stories you've been told to protect. You start to feel it dissolve, and suddenly the ground beneath you feels like it's disappearing. And it is. That's the beginning of truth, the moment the ground gives way and you fall into what's real. But here's the part no one tells you. That fall isn't a mistake. It's not a failure. It's the doorway you've been waiting for. The moment you stop resisting, everything changes. The fear, the confusion, the emptiness, it all starts to transform. You begin to see that what you thought was breaking you was actually setting you free. Because underneath all the noise, beneath the fear and the stories, there's something untouched, something pure, something that's been watching quietly all along. And maybe you felt glimpses of it, those moments when time stops, when everything just is. No trying, no striving, just presence. That's not imagination. That's you. The real you. The one that doesn't need validation or success or spiritual perfection to exist. The one that's been buried under layers of thought and identity. Every meditation, every insight, every heartbreak, it's all been leading you here, to this moment of seeing without filters. But here's the truth most never reach. Awakening isn't about escaping the human experience. It's not about detaching from the world or floating above your pain. It's about returning to life, fully awake within it, feeling every emotion without being consumed by it, loving without possession, acting without ego. It's the most grounded kind of freedom there is. Because you're no longer chasing life, you're living it. So if you still feel incomplete, don't run from that feeling. That ache you carry is sacred. It's not a sign of failure. It's a sign you're alive. It's proof that your soul refuses to settle for half-truths. The mind wants closure, wants to finish the journey, to say, I've arrived. But consciousness has no end. It keeps unfolding, deeper and deeper, layer after layer. And every time you think you've reached the final step, life whispers, look again. This is where your real awakening begins. Not in perfection, not in stillness, but in the raw, unfiltered truth of being human. Because the moment you stop searching for awakening is the moment you truly awaken. You've felt the glimpse of truth, but now comes the hardest part, living it. Because awakening isn't something you keep, it's something you become. The mind will try to drag you back into comfort, into the safety of old patterns. It will whisper, you're fine now, you've figured it out. But you haven't. Not yet. That's the trick of the ego. It wears the mask of wisdom just to stay alive. It knows you're close, so it changes shape, speaking in the language of peace, pretending to be your higher self. But if you listen closely, you can feel the tension. That small vibration inside you that says, this isn't it. That's the signal. That's the pull toward what's real. Every time you ignore that pull, you drift further from yourself. You scroll, you distract, you fill the silence because silence feels too loud. But in that silence lives everything you've been searching for. The answers, the peace, the purpose. They're not waiting in some distant future. They're here now, hidden behind the noise of your mind. The truth doesn't shout, it whispers, and it's whispering to you, right now, wake up. Not the kind of waking up that feels gentle, but the kind that shakes your soul until every illusion falls away. You've been taught to chase light, to chase positivity, to run from your darkness. But the real awakening happens when you stop running, when you turn toward the parts of yourself you've buried and finally say, I see you. That's where your power begins. Because you can't be whole while denying your shadow. Every emotion you've avoided, every fear, every shame, every unhealed wound is a gatekeeper to your freedom. Walk through it, feel it, let it break you open. Only when you face the parts you were afraid to feel can you discover who you really are underneath them. The truth is, this journey will demand everything from you. It will strip away your certainty, your identity, your sense of control. It will make you question everything you thought you knew. But what's left after that storm isn't emptiness, it's clarity. You'll see that the chaos was never your enemy. It was the catalyst. The pain you resented was polishing you into something luminous. Every heartbreak, every failure, every collapse was life itself pushing you closer to what's real. Because nothing that's truly yours can ever be lost. Only illusions die. And yet this is where most people stop, right before transformation. They retreat into comfort, clinging to the familiar because it feels safe. But safety is not the same as peace. Safety keeps you small. Peace expands you. You can't find it by staying in the old patterns. You have to leap. You have to risk everything for the truth. Because the cost of not changing is higher than the cost of letting go. Staying asleep hurts more than waking up ever will. You know this, you felt it in the pit of your stomach. The ache of unfulfilled potential. The quiet voice whispering that you're meant for more. That voice is not a dream, it's your soul remembering. There comes a moment when you stop waiting for life to change and realize you are the change. The awakening you seek isn't somewhere outside of you. It's in every breath, every choice, every moment you decide to be fully alive. It's when you stop numbing, stop pretending, stop shrinking. It's when you say, enough, enough, running from yourself. Enough settling for half-truths. Enough believing you're anything less than infinite. Because when you stop hiding, life meets you with the same intensity. It rises to match your courage. And that's the secret. Most never understand awakening isn't about transcending life. It's about embodying it. It's about walking into each day with your eyes wide open, seeing the sacred in the ordinary. It's laughing without reason, crying without shame, loving without fear. It's knowing that the light and the dark are not enemies but mirrors. Every shadow you face becomes a doorway. Every ending becomes a beginning. You realize that life isn't happening to you, it's happening as you. So don't wait for another sign, another moment, another perfect condition. This is it. The invitation has already arrived. The path is beneath your feet, waiting for your first step. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be present, to show up, to remember who you are, because when you do, you don't just awaken for yourself, you awaken for the world. And the world has been waiting for you to remember. And now that you've remembered who you are, the real test begins. Because knowing the truth is easy. Living it is where most fall back asleep. Life will challenge you the moment you awaken. The world will pull at you, trying to drag you back into the noise, back into the old version of yourself that fits neatly into its systems. It will tempt you with comfort, with validation, with distraction. It will whisper, you've changed enough. But you haven't. This isn't the time to slow down. This is the time to rise, to choose truth over comfort, to walk through the fire instead of hiding from it. Because what you've found isn't fragile, it's real. And what's real can't be destroyed. Every challenge that comes your way now is a mirror. Every person who tests your patience, every moment that triggers your fear, every silence that makes you doubt, it's all there to show you what's left to be seen. Nothing is random. The universe doesn't send you tests to break you. It sends them to reveal your strength. The pain that once felt unbearable becomes your teacher. The chaos that once overwhelmed you becomes your awakening in motion. Every time you refuse to run, you grow. Every time you face what scares you, you shed another layer of illusion. This is the path most never walk, because it requires everything. It asks you to stop clinging to certainty. It demands that you trust the unknown. But that's where life truly begins, in the space beyond control. When you stop trying to manage every outcome, something miraculous happens. Life starts to move through you. You become the flow, not the one chasing it. You stop resisting what is, and suddenly, peace isn't something to find, it's what's left when resistance ends. But don't mistake peace for stillness. Real peace is not passive, it's powerful. It's the fire that stays calm in the middle of the storm. It's the quiet confidence that no matter what comes, you cannot be shaken, because you're rooted in something deeper than circumstance. The gift awakening gives you not escape, but presence. The ability to stand fully alive in the middle of chaos and know you are unbreakable. Still, the world will try to make you forget. It will surround you with noise, with fear, with endless distractions. It will tell you to keep chasing more, to stay busy, to stay numb. But you've seen through that illusion now. You know what it costs to live asleep. You know what it feels like to be disconnected from yourself, from your purpose, from life itself. You can't go back, and deep down you don't want to, because once you've touched truth, nothing else feels real. You were never meant to just exist. You were meant to awaken and then embody that awakening. To live with eyes open, heart open, soul unguarded. To bring light into places that have forgotten it. To remind others that they too are more than the stories they've been told. That's why you're here. Not by chance, not by coincidence, but by design. You are the proof that consciousness is evolving, that the universe is remembering itself through you. And if that feels heavy, it's because it is. You carry light now, and light always challenges the dark. But don't be afraid of that. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. The world doesn't need smaller versions of you. It needs the fullest, fiercest, most awakened version you can be. The one who refuses to settle for half-truths. The one who leads by being, not by preaching. The one who walks in truth, even when no one else understands. So stand up, look around you. This moment is sacred. You are not behind. You are not lost. Everything you've walked through, every fall, every tear, every silence, it was all preparation for this. The awakening isn't somewhere out there. It's happening right now, inside you. The only question that remains is whether you'll answer it, whether you'll keep choosing truth when it's inconvenient, whether you'll keep walking when the path disappears beneath your feet. Because awakening is not a destination. It's a revolution happening within your soul over and over again. Every time you choose awareness over autopilot, compassion over judgment, love over fear, you awaken a little more. This is your moment to remember, to rise, to live as the truth you've been seeking all along, and yet, even now, a part of you hesitates. A small voice inside whispers, what if I can't? What if the world pulls me back? What if I lose myself again? But that's the lie that keeps you trapped. The belief that you can lose what you've already become. You cannot go back to sleep once you've tasted truth. You can pretend for a while. You can bury yourself in noise, numb yourself with distraction, drown yourself in routines. But that voice inside will always return, the same one that woke you once before. It will whisper again, softly at first, then louder, reminding you that you are not here to survive. You are here to awaken fully. And that requires courage, the kind that doesn't roar but burns quietly, relentlessly. The courage to keep walking when everything in you wants to turn back. The courage to trust the unknown when certainty feels safer. The courage to live with your heart open, even when the world gives you reasons to close it. Because awakening doesn't make life easier. It makes it real. And most people aren't ready for real. They want comfort, not truth. But you're different. You wouldn't still be listening if you weren't. You've felt the emptiness of half living. You've tasted what it's like to be disconnected from your own soul. That's why you can't stay in the old patterns anymore. Every time you try, they crumble faster. Every time you pretend to be smaller than you are, it hurts more. That's the universe refusing to let you forget. It's not punishing you, it's guiding you, forcing you to shed what no longer fits, because the truth cannot coexist with what's false, and the longer you cling to who you were, the more painful it becomes. You are being called to step into a higher state of being, to live with awareness, not habit, to act with intention, not fear, to choose love even when it's inconvenient. This is what real power looks like, not dominance, not control, but alignment. The quiet knowing that your energy creates everything around you, that your thoughts shape your reality, that your inner world is the root from which all things grow. You don't need more time, more proof, more permission. You've always had the power. You just forgot. The world you see outside is a reflection of what's happening within. The chaos, the division, the noise. It mirrors the unrest inside every person still asleep. And you can't change it by shouting at the darkness. You change it by becoming light, by embodying the frequency of truth, peace, and compassion that the world is starving for. Every person who wakes up shifts the entire collective. Every soul that chooses awareness over fear ripples through the fabric of existence. That's how revolutions begin, not with noise, but with presence, not with anger, but with clarity. And that's what's being asked of you now, to stop waiting for the world to wake up and become the example instead, to be the proof that peace is possible in a chaotic world, that strength can coexist with softness. That power doesn't need to shout, because when you live from truth, your very existence becomes a message. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. The world is hungry for authenticity, for people who live from the soul, not the mask. So this is your moment, not tomorrow, not when you're ready. Now. The awakening is happening in real time, through your choices, your thoughts, your energy. You are not waiting for a new world. You are building it with every breath, with every act of love, with every time you choose awareness over fear. You are part of something far greater than you can imagine. Life is not happening to you. It's unfolding through you. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean remembering itself. So rise, not as the person you were, but as the consciousness behind it all. Rise even when it's uncomfortable. Rise even when you doubt yourself. The world needs your light, your awareness, your presence. Don't hold back, don't shrink, don't forget. You came here to wake up and to help others remember they can too. And that is how the awakening completes itself, not through one moment of enlightenment, but through a lifetime of choosing truth again and again until the whole world opens its eyes. But even now, as you stand at the edge of transformation, the mind will try one last time to pull you back. It will whisper that you're not ready, that you're too flawed, too broken, too late. It will try to convince you that awakening is for someone else, someone wiser, calmer, more deserving. But that voice is the echo of the old self dying. It's the final illusion clinging to its place in your story. And if you listen closely, you'll notice it's getting weaker, because the truth inside you is getting louder. You can feel it rising, burning through every false identity, every fear, every limitation you've ever carried. That's not destruction, that's rebirth. You were never meant to stay small. You were never meant to hide behind doubt or play the role the world assigned to you. You were meant to break through it, to become the proof that light can exist in human form. Every experience, every heartbreak, every failure, every moment you thought was the end was actually a doorway. Life has been carving you open so the truth could finally shine through. All the times you asked, "Why is this happening to me?" were really moments asking you to wake up and realize it's happening for you. This is the point where most people stop. The fear becomes too loud, the uncertainty too heavy. But not you, Because you've already seen too much to turn back. You've glimpsed what's real, and now that you've tasted it, nothing less will ever satisfy you again. The illusion might feel safer, but you know it's empty. And that emptiness isn't punishment, it's an invitation. It's life saying, choose again. Choose truth over comfort. Choose growth over fear. Choose love even when it hurts. Because every time you choose a higher path, you expand. You become the space where the divine meets the human. And this is what the hidden stages of awakening were always about. Not perfection, not bliss, but wholeness. The kind that doesn't deny the darkness but integrates it. The kind that doesn't escape pain but transforms it into wisdom. That's the evolution of consciousness itself, when the light doesn't destroy the shadow but embraces it. Because that's what you are now, not just a seeker, but the bridge between both worlds. The part of the universe remembering itself through human form. You've spent your life searching for meaning, waiting for signs, asking for clarity. But what if the answer has always been you? What if everything you were trying to find has been waiting for you to remember? Every breath you take, every thought you release, every moment you stop resisting, that's awakening. It's not in some distant future. It's in the way you look at the world right now, in the way you forgive when you could hate, in the way you keep going when you could give up. That's what it means to live awake, to choose love when fear is easier. But understand this, the moment you awaken, responsibility follows, because awareness demands action. It's not enough to know the truth, you must live it.